The Joker had a terrifying philosophy. All it takes is one bad day. But what does one bad day truly mean? According to the Joker, a person doesn't need a lifetime of suffering to lose their mind. It only takes one terrible day, one that is so overwhelming, so painful, that it breaks everything they believe in. How so? Can a person truly change in a single day? Not exactly. The key isn't in the time frame. It isn't about a day, a week, or even a month. It's about the sheer intensity of the events. If in a single day someone experiences enough devastating, soul-crushing events, they will either go insane or become something far worse, a cruel, heartless person. The Joker learned this philosophy the hard way through his own life experiences. In his view, morally upright, law-abiding, and seemingly normal people aren't as far from madness as they like to think. They live in their comfortable bubbles, believing they're immune to such a descent. But in reality, they've just never been tested by life in the way he has. They've never been pushed far enough. The Joker himself is living proof of his one bad day philosophy. He is the ultimate example. He wasn't always a psychotic criminal mastermind. Once he was just an ordinary man, a failed comedian struggling to make a living. He had dreams, hopes, and a family. Then, in one horrific day, everything he loved and everything that tethered him to sanity was ripped away. First, he learned that his pregnant wife had tragically died in an accident. Then, he was deceived and manipulated by the mob into committing crimes he didn't want to be a part of. And finally, the worst blow of all. He fell into a vat of chemicals during a confrontation, an accident that left him physically deformed, with bleached skin and hair. It was in that moment that the Joker snapped. The person he was ceased to exist, and what emerged was a twisted being who fully embraced chaos and madness. He had reached his breaking point, his one bad day. But the Joker's philosophy didn't stop with his own experience. Throughout his life, he sought to prove that his theory applied to everyone. He became obsessed with the idea of breaking others. He would target good, kind-hearted people and subject them to unbearable trials, forcing them to confront their worst fears and tragedies. His ultimate goal was to push them into madness, just as he had been pushed to prove that no one is immune to one bad day. What makes the Joker such an unforgettable villain isn't just his appearance, his unpredictable behavior, or his chaotic schemes. It's the terrifyingly plausible idea he represents. His philosophy hits close to home. If we're honest with ourselves, we all fear that we have limits, boundaries to how much pain and suffering we can endure before we break. It's a universal, unsettling thought. What if life throws so much at us that we can no longer cope? What if we too lose ourselves? This is where Batman enters the story. Batman too is someone who has lived through one bad day. He lost his parents in front of his eyes as a child in a senseless act of violence. That day changed him forever. But instead of succumbing to madness, he channeled his pain into becoming something else, the Dark Knight. Yet, despite his strength, Batman is not entirely free from the Joker's philosophy. In a way, he is living proof of it. He doesn't see himself as Bruce Wayne anymore. To him, Batman is his true identity, while Bruce Wayne is just the mask he wears to navigate the world. This is highlighted in a telling moment when Batman and Superman first meet Wonder Woman. She uses her magical lasso of truth, compelling them to reveal their true identities. Superman says, "Clark Kent," because that's who he truly is at his core. But Batman, he says, "I'm Batman." This shows that Batman is not the same as other heroes. He is someone who has been forever altered by his one bad day. He has lost a part of himself, just as the Joker did. The difference is that Batman channels his pain into justice, while the Joker channels his into chaos. This connection is why the Joker feels such a deep bond with Batman. He loves him in his own twisted way, because he sees Batman as a reflection of himself. To the Joker, Batman is the only other person who truly understands what it means to live through a day so devastating that it changes you forever. In truth, Batman and the Joker are two sides of the same coin. Both have experienced unimaginable pain. Both have been transformed by their one bad day. But where one fights to protect order, the other exists to destroy it. This duality is what makes their relationship so fascinating and so tragic. In the end, the Joker's philosophy forces us to confront a chilling question. How close are we to madness? How much could we endure before we too break? It's a question that lingers long after the story ends, making the Joker more than just a villain. He is a mirror reflecting ourselves,